Hey, everybody, this is the franchise Shane Douglas, the greatest wrestler in the history of professional wrestling, just saying, Philadelphia, get ready to go back to the extreme on April 28th. When you want the best and most lowdown on professional wrestling, you want it right here at iYHWrestling.com. These are the boys to get it from. Take it from me.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, the pride of the Pilgrims, Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat. Ah!
He is full of power tonight.
That's right. That was kind of my... That was kind of my Star Trek 2
Oh, like the Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
Really good show. I was going to say join us right off the bat, but it's like 42 minutes late, but right off the bat anyway, who cares? We are joined by the return of Luke Hawx, one of the favorite guests this year of In Your Head, so we had to have him back.
What's happening, fellas? How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Same thing, different day. I know how it is already.
Well, everyone know this Saturday, Luke Hawx live on the first ever live iPay-Per-View from Extreme Rising. You can watch it all around the world, WWNlive.com, and it's starting at only like around $15. Watch it wherever you are. You can watch it in the United States, Canada, Australia, Timbuktu, all over the world this year.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, definitely check it out, man, because there's going to be some things going on that I think nobody knows about, including myself. It's going to be nuts, and I think it's going to be something that's really worth seeing.
Mm-hmm. I've seen all the Extreme Rising, Extreme Reunion shows so far. Even the first one, which had its problems, I enjoyed, and but I do think each one has gotten better in quality.
Yeah, that's because of guys like Kevin Kleinrock and Steve O'Neill and Mike O'Neill.
You think the guys that they put a lot of effort into this?
Yeah, they do. I wouldn't even say they put a lot of effort in. They put in all the effort into this because you got guys like Shane who sit back and do absolutely nothing but be the spokesman and want to run hard shot on it, but can't get nothing done. And then that's the reason, like, the first few shows were canceled. Remember that? They had some shows lined up, and then all of a sudden they had to postpone them and put them back. It's because guys like Shane ain't on the money, and, they say they're going to do one thing, but they depend on everybody else to do it for them, and then when it comes down to it, Mike and Kevin are the guys who, and Steve are the guys who are stuck doing it, and, they got to respond to the fans.
Now, Shane Douglas, after the first show, he did a video where he said he was going to retire from active in-ring competition, and now he's coming back. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, let me ask y'all this. How do y'all think about this? How do y'all feel about it? How do the fans feel about that? I mean, you've seen what he did. When was the first show? Was it in April? When was it?
Yeah, it was wasn't that long ago, early this summer.
I think it was in April. So, I mean, you've seen the first show. You've seen how he looked and how bad he did. What do you think is going to happen this time? And he puts himself in the main event against Matt Hardy, of all people. And the thing with that is, a guy like Matt Hardy is a dear friend of mine, been a friend for a long time, one of my closest friends in the business. And you sit back and you think, Matt Hardy can wrestle a broomstick and have a good match, and that's probably why Shane Douglas put himself in the match with Matt Hardy, because he thinks Matt's going to make him look good. But, I hope Matt goes in there and just busts his ass and Shane falls flat on his face in front of the world.
So, that's the main event. Well, what do you and other guys, on the card think of Shane Douglas being in the main event of the show?
It's bullshit. I mean, obviously it's bullshit. And this is the thing about that. I'm the one who says what he thinks. When I was younger, like breaking into the business, I did what I was told to do. I kept my mouth shut. I observed. I learned. And, every now and then I put input in, or I say something, or I call a story. I never back down from anything. But here I am, 13 going on 14 years in the business, and I'm a different Luke Hawx than I was back then. I'm not going to be the guy who don't speak up. And, look, this is how it is. I demand a spot, and, I deserve it. I work hard for it, so I'm not going to sit back and let this motherfucker just run his mouth and badmouth me and do whatever he wants to do and try and hold me down. So, I don't care if it's on camera, off camera, talking to an interview, a friend, it's all the same. I'm not holding back. I ain't going to hold my tongue. I guarantee you 5 years from now, 50 years from now, I ain't going to be the one looking back with any regrets.
What was Shane Douglas's reason for deciding to get back in the ring?
he beats me. I mean, I have no idea. I guess because he's in Pittsburgh, and I mean, he's been wrestling now. Don't get it twisted. He's been wrestling on little like shit shows in front of 50 people and taking some suckers' money. You know, I know he just did a show in Mississippi. I think he's doing shows in Chicago and doing shows. You know, who knows? I know he was doing shows with that guy. What's that guy's name? The guy that fucked up my debut. Michael Cordova, something like Michael Cordova, I think it was. But you know, get guys like that, and that's Shane's idea. Now, I don't want to bash that guy. I don't know Cordova. Well, actually, I don't know him at all. I'm not going to bash a young guy, but that's Shane's idea of a talented guy. That's the kind of Shane. That's the kind of guy Shane wants there. You know, working for that company. And I mean, I don't get it. You know, I didn't see anything in the guy. I just don't think he takes wrestling seriously. Not to knock the kid. Like I said, I hope he might be a nice guy. But hey, you know, my uncle's a nice guy too, like I always say. But that don't mean he should be wrestling. If you can't take the business seriously, don't be in the business. You know, I mean, I'll give you a prime example of that. I think Cordova is going to wrestle a guy on the pre-show of this show, and what are you going to compare that to in Pittsburgh? You know, they got guys, Kevin and Steve put guys like Christian York and Jay Bradley together, and Cordova's going to wrestle one of Shane's other guys. Who knows? Compare the matches, and then you see what Shane's idea of booking is compared to Kevin and Steve's idea of booking.
Mm-hmm. Now, Shane, when you're on shows like this and you're promoting the iPay-Per-Views, has Shane ever come to you and said, you know, confronted you about things you said about him?
Shane doesn't do shit but talk shit behind my back. When I'm backstage at a show, he runs from me. He's never around. I don't see him. He sticks to his office, sticks to like a little hole somewhere, and if he just happens to pass me, he puts his head down and walks the fuck off. He's a pussy, man. Like, I've been trying to get at this dude for so long. Honestly, man, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of his bullshit. I'm tired of him trying to hold guys down. It's you know, this is reality. You know, it's not reality TV. This is real shit, and it keeps going on. So somebody like me needs to step up and squash this bullshit because, you know, a lot of guys think this is an angle saying this against, you know, like ECW guys against originals, against youngsters. But that's not what it is, man. It kind of relates to that, but it's not an angle. It's a philosophical difference at the core of Extreme Rising, you know, because these guys are like, it's bullshit, man, and it's going on behind the scenes. It's going on with Shane. It's going on with Kevin. It's going on with Steve, and they're just having so much trouble with a guy like Shane because he's so out of touch with things, and he's such a problem to deal with. He's stuck in 1985, you know?
Now, before you worked with Shane at all, you know, when in this company, what were your thoughts of him as a wrestler?
Well, I mean, like I said before, look, when I came up, I respected Shane. I loved Shane. He was a big influence, you know, guys like Shane Douglas, Tommy Dreamer, Stevie Richards, Jerry Glenn, you know, even the Lemonades, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, the whole ECW in general. I loved it. There's no place I wanted to be more than ECW when ECW came around. I was a wrestling fan my whole life, and then when I got to like XPW and had to work with Shane, it just dropped everything, man. I lost all respect for him. He was just so full of shit and full of hot air, and then, you know, he was one of those guys. He's a great talker, but he's a terrible leader. Terrible. And he doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know? Guys like Stevie do. You know, guys like Stevie Richards, they know what needs to be done. They still love the business. They care about things. They're in the gym, they're working out, you know, and they want to go out there, and they're going to do what they pay to do, have the best match they can have. A guy like Shane is just freaking hanging on a string looking for the next payday.
Now, he's wrestling on Matt Hardy. You said you could really wrestle just about anybody who's going to have a good match with. What are your thoughts on Matt Hardy as a performer, as a person? You know him pretty well?
Man, yeah, like I said, Matt's been a good friend of mine for a long time. I love Matt. You know, Matt's a great guy. And, you know, when he was going through his issues, I fully supported him. Because he was always a good guy. I just hope Matt don't put up with the bullshit that Shane's going. I hope Matt lays it down on top of him.
Mm-hmm. We had Matt on last week, and he was saying this would probably be the first and the only match between him and Shane Douglas.
I hope it's Shane's last match, man. I wish the dude would just die and get out the world. I mean, it's terrible to say something about somebody, but, I mean, look at the big picture. All he's doing is killing company after company. You know, he kills anything he touches, he kills. Mm-hmm.
Do you think? How do you think it worked out when he put the mask on and went to Raw?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I called in on this other radio show Shane was doing, and I did it because I knew Shane was going to do the radio show. So Shane was talking about marks and this, and calling me a mark and this. Yeah, I'm the mark because Shane's the one who spent $500 on tickets to Raw and not even really get aired on TV. He didn't even get anything. It was more internet press than anything. I guess it was a good publicity stunt, but it was a stupid idea. I mean, he's hanging on every little string he can to try and get recognition again, and it's not going to happen. He just needs to hang up his boots and go, stock shelves.
Now, on this show, you're going to be wrestling Perry Saturn. Have you worked at all with Saturn before?
Nah, man, I don't even know Saturn. I met him briefly at the last show. Like I said, I was a fan of Saturn growing up, but here's the thing, like I told you before, I'm a different guy than I was then. I'll show Saturn respect, but at the same time, don't come in and, don't come in and think you're going to lay on my leg on the show. I'm there to bust my ass and have a good match. And if, I hope Saturn brings his A game, because if not, I'm just going to beat his ass.
He's really one of my favorite guys to work with. I watched back in the ECW days, him and Cronus, and I haven't really seen too much of him since he's made his comeback. Do you think he still has it in the ring?
I don't know, because honestly, I didn't even see what he did at the last show, and I can't comment, but on that because I don't know. But I hope he does, man. I hope he comes out there and works hard and gives it his all, because that's what we're paid to do, and that's what I want to do. That's what puts asses in the seats and makes people want to come back and see the wrestling shows. I hope he's not like a piece of shit like Raven, who's just coming there to get a payday, which is ridiculous, because, that's another point. You got a guy like Raven on the show after the bullshit Raven pulled. Now, here's the thing about that. That's another problem between guys like Kevin and Steve and Shane. Kevin had problems with Raven years ago and swore after XPW, off the shit Raven did pulled in XPW, that he would never book Raven again. Then Shane books him, of course, for this, and look what happened. He came out there, he got a huge payday, did absolutely nothing, killed the crowd, and everybody was talking about it because they hated it and how they wanted to see him wrestle, but the truth is he can't wrestle anymore. So you got guys like Kevin and Steve who don't want guys like that in the locker room because they set bad examples, and then you got Shane who holds on to guys like that and goes, oh, we got to bring Raven in. What the fuck do you need to bring Raven in for? What does he have to bring to the table?
Well, why does he bring him? Is he just friends with him, or do you think that he thinks you have to have like some of the original ECW guys?
I guess, but you look at it, it has to be that, because look, guys like C.W. Anderson ain't on the show, Danny Doran ain't on the show. These guys are still in shape who can bust their ass and work real hard and go still. But you see guys like that on the show, and keep in mind, they weren't as big as name as Raven because of everybody knows the pushes, and it all depends on what kind of push you got. Those guys need to speak up, man, and stand out, because those are the guys who can still go. And what sense does it make to have a guy like Raven on the show who's just going to suck the company dry and help kill it off, when you can have a guy like C.W. Anderson or Danny Doran come in there and bust ass and put asses in seats?
I think Raven was actually edited off of the first iPay-Per-View, the DVD, this segment.
Oh, well, I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I haven't asked about it. Some things I don't get into. I get so fired up about this shit, man. I'm so passionate about it. It drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm. Now, I saw his recent YouTube video he put out, and he's basically making fun of the original ECW fans. And
yeah, he's terrible. It was terrible. Terrible, and that's the best thing about Raven. He can talk. Can he wrestle? No, but he can talk. But nobody wants to hear him talk anymore. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Now, let's see. Well, there's a lot of really good matches, though, on the iPay-Per-View. FBI versus Blackout. Always fun to watch.
Talented guys. That's Ruckus and G's are hell of a talented guys. So are FBI. I love FBI. Them boys can go. They care about what they do. And you got guys like Ruckus and G's, which brings me back to the whole Steve and Kevin thing. Steve and Kevin. Those are the guys who put matches together like that. Shane's putting together matches, against himself, against guys like Too Cold Scorpio or Balls and Axel, and Kevin and them are putting together the FBI versus Blackout. And Blackout can go. Look at the stuff that Kevin and Steve did with the Urban Wrestling Federation. I haven't seen much of it, but what I've seen, everybody on there had great matches, man. Even guys like Ricky Ortiz, he came from WWE. You didn't see that side of Ricky Ortiz in WWE. You didn't see guys like, best of going out, best of 666. He went out there and he killed himself, man, and just making a name. Good match, good match, good match. And that says something about somebody.
He's on the card as well versus Pesadilla.
Okay, is that who's working? I know he's on the card again. So I mean, but he's a good talent, and that guys like that are there because of Kevin and Steve and Mike, not because of Shane. You know, Shane's stuck in a whole other generation. You know, he's out there. He's so out of touch with everything. He's out of touch with pop culture. Everyone always talks about the wrestling bubble, but man, his bubble is stuck in a time machine.
Now, he was always a guy who would call out, you know, Ric Flair back when, like, Shane was in his prime. Do you think he's become like a lot of the guys that he used to, like, really talk bad about? Guys that, you know, stick around?
He's definitely became everything that he said he wouldn't be, or everything he used to, you know, talk shit about it. And that's the thing. Like I said, he's a great talker, but in the end, he's the same as everybody else. He can talk all the shit he wants. He always puts down WWE or TNA or this and that, but he would jump at the opportunity to go to either one of those places to get a paycheck. He would jump to go there. You know, Shane was the first one to jump ship with ECW back in ECW days. After all that shit, where'd he go? He went to WWE. Then as soon as he got the opportunity to go with WCW, he went with WCW. When he got the opportunity to go to TNA, he went to TNA. And he would leave ECW over and over again. I don't know why he took his ass back.
That is, I've always wondered that too. But I guess we'd have to ask Paul Heyman when we can't get in the line. Andrew, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you think that any women matches should be in Extreme Rising?
That'd be nice, man. I think it's always good to have the women who can wrestle, you know, not just ass and titties. I love ass and titties, but, you know, I like to see girls who go out there and go hard, too.
Is there any ones that come to mind, you know, when you're at different shows that you think should be recognized more?
As far as guys or girls?
Well, both, but we'll talk about the women first.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Women? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a few guys. Like, there's a girl who's kind of new, who's coming up. What's her name? Sienna Duval. She's from Philly. Young black girl. She's really good. I like the stuff she's doing. There's girls like from Puerto Rico, La Rosa Negra. She's really good. She just moved to the United States, man. I seen a match with them at NWA Ring Wars down in Miami. Man, they tore it up. You know, them girls tore it up. Them girls could go. These girls, they had a three-way dance with this other girl. I forget the name was, but man, it went just as hard as any guys. I was like, damn, these girls can go. Yeah.
There's one that's like a huge favorite amongst the fans of this show. They call it all the time, want us to get her on the show. I don't know if you know her, Tina San Antonio.
No, I don't know enough. I've never heard of her.
Yeah, I haven't either. I feel terrible, I must say it. But a lot of people listening to the show really like her, and they're always telling us to get her on the show, which that's good, though, if her fans like her that much, trying to get her name up there.
Christina Von Eerie and Thunder Kitty are two other ones I really like. You know, Thunder Kitty does that old school, like, Moolah, Mae Young type gimmick, and then Christina Von Eerie is like the punk rock chick, but, man, they can go. They can get in the ring, and they can bust ass.
Yeah. What about some guys that you don't think get enough recognition?
Guys like, man, I'll say it right off the bat. Guys like Mike Dell, guys like Steve Anthony, Scott Summers is pretty good, Rudy Russo, Bo Brady, you know, all guys that use it at Wildcat, you know, the federation down here in Louisiana that's based off of my school, but we got those guys that come in, and they're Texas guys. They are really, really good, and they need to be seen by somebody because these guys go out there and put on a hell of a show, especially a guy like Mike Dell, man. He can walk it, he can talk it, he looks great, he's been around a while, he's a veteran, and the guys just don't have bad matches.
Where can people see Wildcat if they don't live in the area?
They can definitely check us out on YouTube. It's Wildcat Sports with a K, 2 words. And, you know, we have a website also, wildcatsports.com. Facebook, like us, check us out. We always put web series up. And each episode gets better and better. We always get higher quality and improve with everything we do.
Yeah.
Now, if Extreme Rising, you know, if it continues to do well and take off, would you like to see some of your you know, some of the guys you use in Wildcat, you know, work for Extreme Rising?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I would love to see it, and I think they deserve it. There's a lot of guys on the scene that deserve it. It's all about making yourself known and making your presence known and wanting that fire. You got to go to it. It ain't going to go to you. That's how the wrestling business is, you know?
Mm-hmm. Would you say would that be the most important thing you look for somebody trying to become a wrestler? If they have the drive?
Well, you got to have the drive. I mean, that's number one. You can't do it if you don't have the drive. You can't get stuck in your bubble. Like I tell my students constantly, appreciate what you got here, but don't take it for granted. Just because we have these good shows, we draw good crowds, and you got good things going on, you work with good guys, I still want them to get out and wrestle all the shows. I still want them to drive 10 hours and go wrestle 2 shows in a weekend and come back tired and go to work and do everything. I want them to pay their dues, and I make them do that. And they have no problem with that. You know, so it's just one of the things where you can't let what your regular routine is go to your head. You have to get out there, and you have to want more. You always got to want more.
Let me get back to some of the matches on the iPay-Per-View, and also if you order the iPay-Per-View, you will also receive a free iPay-Per-View download for the 6:30 Philadelphia event, which was headlined by Matt Hardy versus Jerry Lynn versus Homicide.
Bro, that was a good match.
Yeah, I was asking, what were your thoughts on that one?
It was awesome, man. All 3 guys, hell of a workers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Homicide, I can't say enough good things about him. I love Homicide, always have. Jerry Lynn, hell of a hand. I mean, he's older than most of the locker room, been around a long time, still loves what he does, you know, he can go, and he's about to retire. And, you know, when you see a guy like that about to retire, but a guy like Shane clinging on to everything he has to try and stay in the spotlight, please, man, give it up. See the truth. That's what I liked about Extreme Reunion put together. I finally got that chance to say all this. It's a lot of personal shit towards Shane. I've been saying it for years. And when Kevin and Steve provided me with that opportunity, I said, man, green light, let's go, let's do it. And I mean, I thought it was going to mean guys who deserved a spot would get one and be highlighted. But then you go back to a show like April. April happened, and that's all because Shane Douglas had to have it his way, and then shit on the crowd. Look what happened. They took a big shit in the ring, and, you know, everybody hated it.
No, why do you think he continues to want to be in the ring? Is it just he can't get away from it? Or?
Man, I don't know. I think maybe he's having troubles with life. Maybe he can't cope just being a regular person. But if you don't have it no more, you know, you just hang it up. You have to accept it. You don't see Troy Aikman still out there trying to play for the Cowboys, do you?
No.
You don't see Magic Johnson still trying to play basketball. You don't see Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player all time. How old's Michael Jordan? I mean, I'd imagine he's at least close to Shane's age, maybe a little older. You don't see Michael Jordan trying to play basketball. But you see a guy like Shane Douglas, who is in wrestling, who's, no offense, it's a much more endurance sport than basketball. You know, it takes a lot. But, you know, you see guys like Shane Douglas in the ring trying to hold on to what they once had. And the sad thing is, they don't pay attention. Even if Shane wanted to be backstage and work backstage in the show, it's terrible because he has no clue about anything. He only knows the guys who book him. You know, so some shitbag in Mississippi books him, and he'll want to put that guy on the show to return the favor because, he books me and pays me, so I'll let him come to Extreme Rising and, you know, get his name out when he's a turd. It's crazy. And that's Shane's mentality. Instead of going, hey, let me search the indies. Let me see who's good. Let me see who's hot. Let me see, you know, like guys like Sammy Callahan, you know, who are hot on the indies. Why isn't a guy like that in Extreme Rising? I don't know Sammy personally, you know, but I know he's a good worker. And I know he's a hell of a hand. Why don't they reach out to guys like that?
His personality, I think, would fit in really well there too.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's because Shane don't know anything. Shane doesn't care.
Yeah.
Shane's just stuck in that world. He doesn't care if it dies. It's just, you know, he'll suck the money out while he can, and then he'll move to the next thing. He always has. He'll always try and move to the next thing.
Yeah.
See, go on, Itchman.
Oh, I'm excited to see this match between you and Perry. I just want to know, like, what's going to go down if you feel like Perry's not living up to what he should be in the ring?
Honestly, man, I can't tell you. I know I'm going to go hard. I'm going to do the best I can do. And I hope he does. I'm excited about the match. I think it's a good opportunity to work with Perry. I've always, looked up to Perry. So when I see a guy like that, it's a shame that he fell off the map like he did. But, you know, Perry was a hell of a hand. And, you know, here's all I'll say. I'm not going to be bullied. If a guy like that tries to come in, I don't know him personally. He was a nice guy when I met him, said hello, all that BS. But, you know, if a guy like that comes in and thinks that, hey, it's 1998 and he's going to bully me around, newsflash, you're going to get your teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Nope. If at a future one of these it came up for you versus Shane Douglas, would you do it?
Hell no. I have no interest in wrestling Shane Douglas. I want to beat the living shit out of Shane Douglas. You know, I might just do it at this show. I'm not even. It's no angle. It's no BS. I can't stand it. And the more I hear about his bullshit, the hotter I get about it, man. Because Extreme Rising is actually a good thing. So for a guy like that to come in and just try and kill everything, it makes me sick. It does, man. It makes my stomach turn. I get so hot. Some nights I can't even sleep. I think about him, and I lie there, and I go, I can't stand this motherfucker. And there's not a lot of people I can say that about. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold, you know, usually have a hot temper with everything. But with a guy like that, it's just, instead of everything he says is negative towards me, it's always been that way. When we were in XPW, when we went to TNA, and I was doing stuff with TNA, and instead of giving me advice, telling me go to the gym and work out, or you know, to work out, get with this guy and train more, he was just like, you know, oh, you'll never make it. You don't have it. You just, you know, fuck that guy.
So, when was the first time you met him? Was it with XPW?
XPW, working for him in XPW, listening to his bullshit in XPW, listening to him, you know, suck that company dry and run a locker room and bullshit in the locker room and tell everybody what they want to hear, rile them up, rah, 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 and then drop bombs on them.
Well, so in XPW, he wasn't big on you either at that time? He didn't.
No, not at all. You know, and that's when it really all started, because when you work with somebody that you looked up to and they have them shit on you for absolutely no reason, because, you know, they're so caught up in their personal things, they shit on somebody else who loves the business. And I'll never shit on any guy who loves the business, who wants to work hard and get it. Like I said something about that Cordova guy. Look, I don't know him, but if he wants to work hard, please do, man. Get better. Get in the ring. Get better. Train. Work out. Go to the gym. You know, prove that you want to be in this business and that you want to take it seriously. Not that you just want to wrestle so you can tell your friends you're a wrestler.
So, when you said in TNA, do you think he's a reason why you weren't in TNA longer? You didn't have a bigger role in TNA?
Well, I was supposed to do an angle with Chris Daniels when I first came in, and we were going to do a little tag team thing. And I separated my shoulder. I wrestled Crash Holly. And separated my shoulder, and that put me on the shelf for about 6 months after that. So when I did that, I tore some ligaments and stuff in it and put me out, and kind of, honestly, I wasn't ready at the time, too. I was really still green. I got good opportunities. I got to work with good hands, and, you know, but I've never been more ready than I am now. You know, so back then I was still skinny. I didn't have good tights. I didn't have the psychology of everything, and it was a great learning experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, that's something. You said you didn't have the tights and stuff. But what do you think about some of the guys who wrestle in t-shirts and you know, not in like wrestling gear?
That's the thing. Like, I hope Saturn doesn't do it. I hope Saturn doesn't come there looking like he just got off from a fucking bus stop. You know. I mean, I know Shane's going to do it. Shane looks terrible. I guarantee he ain't been to the gym the day since. It's ridiculous. It's one thing wearing a T-shirt to market something and coming out there and taking it all for doing, but to wrestle in a T-shirt, unless it's your gimmick, unless you're a Raven, or unless you're Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney, those guys are what they are. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't see Triple H out there wrestling in a T-shirt every night, do you?
No.
You don't see Randy Orton wrestling in a T-shirt.
No.
You don't see Undertaker wrestling with a T-shirt. Kurt Angle, none of them.
Mm-hmm.
See AJ Styles wrestling in a T-shirt. It's funny, you know.
Do you think it's primarily to cover themselves up, or are they trying to be like? Yeah.
That is the only reason it is, to cover themselves up. Well, if you're that upset with how you look, don't get in the ring.
So yeah, there's some questions here in the chat room. Beef wants to know, do you have any shoot training?
Oh, for sure. I train with guys every day. I train with world champion kickboxers like my friend JC Lore. I'm also a stuntman and actor, and I train with a lot of bad motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Just put it like that. Being around guys like J.J. Perry and the stunt guys I work out with, we go in, man. We go hard, you know. So I'm always grinding, trying to, you know, I can defend myself. Let's say that. When it comes down to it, you know, ain't nobody gonna take advantage of Luke Hawx.
I was wondering about that. Is there any updates on your stunts? Like any new movies you've been in?
I just finished a good, nice little acting role. I just finished 6 weeks on a movie playing a hitman. Trying to find. I was playing Winona Ryder's hitman in Jason Statham's new film. It's written by Sylvester Stallone. It's called Homefront. And actually, I just got a call about another acting gig tomorrow. I got to go in for an audition tomorrow, but I'll probably get the role. And then I'm about to work on a really, really big film. It's going to be Spike Lee's first action film, and not that I'm a big Spike Lee fan, but it's called Old Boy. It's a remake of a Japanese version. I think it was out in 2002. It was a Japanese independent movie that did really well.
Yeah, that's a really crazy movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not.
I watched it. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we're doing an American version now, and we're going to do this 30-on-1 fight scene. It's a 4-minute fight scene, one camera shot.
Oh, wow.
So with Josh Brolin, and man, it's going to be nuts. So I'm really looking forward to that. The only thing that kind of throws it off is I got WWE coming up too. I work with WWE a lot, and I send my guys up there a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to manage dates. It's always hard to juggle both. So sometimes you got to pick and choose. And the thing is, when I had movie work and I had WWE, I always choose WWE because that's where I work to be a wrestler. I'm a wrestler first, a stuntman and actor second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, have you ever seen Old Boy Intro? That's I think that's the one where the guy's in the he's like held prisoner and in like the hotel for years, and then he gets out.
Yeah,
it's really
watch
cool.
it. It's great. It's on Netflix. You got Netflix. I recommend if anybody hasn't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah.
That's one of the more famous cult films from Japan.
Yeah, it's a sick movie, man. It's a sick movie.
That's really cool. You're gonna be in it. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't even know. I knew that they were making it, but I didn't realize Spike Lee was doing it. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah, Spike Lee, which I have no idea why.
It's very odd. Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like Spike Lee's type of movie. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You never know.
For the love of basketball.
Yeah. Well, people always like to try to branch out and do something different.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Some other, we say?
Oh, I was just going to ask him. I was like, how often do you get guys who come into the school, and as soon as they come in, they're all full of piss and vinegar, and then within a couple of days, they're out?
And then I get people that come in and pay me the deposit, and they leave 15 minutes later because they couldn't do 20 push-ups. And they literally quit. They'll come in and tell me for an hour their lifelong dream was to be a wrestler and how much they wanted it, and they're so glad Wildcats are around. They wanted to go to Ohio Valley, but it was too far away. Now the Wildcats is in Louisiana. They don't have to drive far, and next thing you know, they're doing push-ups, and they're like, nah, I can't do this shit. I'm sorry. And I'm like, what? You know, it's like, it's really sickening, man. It's the same thing with the indie shows. How many people bitch about indie shows? There's no good wrestling. There's no this and there's that. There's no that. But then when it does come around, how many people got excuses not to go? Oh, well, it's steak night tonight. You know, if you didn't have it on steak night, you should be there. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I don't get many indie shows around me, but when I do, I always make it out to them. As fun as it is to watch wrestling on TV, it's nothing like being there live.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, since I've been open at Wildcat, I've been open a year and a half now. I've probably had about 60 people come to the door. I got 8 guys, and 6 of them are from my first class. So that should go to tell you something. I got lucky. I had a blessed first class. After that, just fell off, man. Yeah. Nobody wants it. Nobody has drive. Nobody has passion. Everybody wants something handed to them. It's funny because, you know, the same thing, I'll get emails all the time, and it's guys like, oh, man, I heard about Wildcats. I want to come train. Can I come sign up? And then, you know, they look at everything, and then they go, holy shit. Oh, this costs money? Oh, well, I don't have any money. I can't come pay money. You want to go, nah, you dumbass. You know, this building's free. Yeah. You know, the government provides this building for us. That's it. Morons.
Just spend your time there doing it all for nothing.
But I tell you what, I bet you them same people have every new Halo 3 when it comes out, and the newest PlayStation, and this and that.
What was your training like for yourself?
Man, my training was brutal. It was I broke in with a local guy out here, and he screwed me over because they didn't want me out here. Like it was 4 shitbags, 4 guys like Shane Douglas, but just with no popularity. You know, older guys in their late 40s that never been trained, and they would run these little crappy shows in front of 30, 40, 50, 60 people, and I still wanted to be a part of it because that's what they had around here. So I started paying these guys to train me, and not getting anywhere, and they had me refereeing, and they just used to treat me like shit. So when I could, as soon as I graduated, I packed my bags, man. I drove to Philadelphia and fell through out there, and then I drove, because the guy who I was talking to out there was a friend of mine, still a friend of his day, but kind of screwed me over out there. So instead, I stayed out there 3 days, and he was BSing about, the hookups he had. So as soon as I found out he was BSing, I just drove straight to Oakland, knocked on Vic Grimes' door because I had his address, and asked him to train me. And like I said, what was he going to do? Tell me no? I just drove across country to take a risk on Vic training me.
I always thought, I always liked Vic Grimes. I always thought he should have been a bigger star.
He should have, man. The problem with Vic was I love Vic. It's just when he went to WWE, he couldn't play the game. He didn't know how to play the game. He couldn't adapt to that WWE style. He always wanted to go out there and do what he wanted to do instead of doing what he was told to do. And not that that's always a bad thing. It's just like, you know how it is with WWE. You can't go out there and have a 5-star match every match. You can't go out there. They don't want a guy like Vic Grimes, doing twisting flips off the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want guys like that doing that. So if you would have adapted more, I think he would have did real well and been able to do that. But he made a lot of guys mad when he went up there because he was very outspoken like I am. But I just think it was the wrong time. I think if he would have played his cards a little smarter and waited to get in a little more, he would have been an impactful guy there.
Yeah. That's another thing, too. I don't know if maybe some people just know him as, like, the hardcore guy. They don't know, but he used to, like, move around really well for a big guy.
Man, he can wrestle his ass off. Look at some of our old stuff. They got it on YouTube. Google Perry Douglas versus Vic Grimes.
Mm-hmm.
We used to throw down.
Yeah, I always thought something about Balls Mahoney before he just became, like, guy that really did the chair shots.
Yeah.
I thought he was, like,
Balls
a really good wrestler. Mm-hmm.
Balls was another one. Balls had an amateur background. Balls was really good when he first came in, and then he got stuck with that gimmick and, just fell with it and kept with it.
Yeah. That's too bad. I still like him, but, I thought he was all around, like, a good wrestler, and just became a guy who basically just did the chair shots.
Yeah, I like Balls, man. Balls has always been a nice guy. Never had any issues with Balls. Never stepped on anybody. Always respectful. He just wasn't a piece of shit, I was around a lot of guys. I was around the ECW locker room. So, there was guys that treated me like shit, and there was guys who were nice to me. And I remember that. And now, to this day, that's why I am the way I am. I don't have to be that yes, sir guy no more. Not there. Not there, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go there and play political games to try and get a spot. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to tell Shane to go fuck himself. I'm going to tell guys like Raven to go fuck themselves. They're killing companies. They're killing the business. Guys like they kill the business and they need to get out of it.
I don't know if I ever asked your thoughts on New Jack.
You asked me the last show. Me and New Jack, I had a couple run-ins with New Jack, and it's always been nothing ever happened. I always stood my ground, and I always will. I actually gave New Jack props because in the last show, not the last show, he got in the fight with Balls, but the show before that, he was very, very humble, came in and wanted to succeed, wanted it to be a new thing. He wanted to help the younger guys instead of being like the other guys. He came and he was talking to younger guys. He even, he came over and talked to me. Told me about, he's like, look, I know you're hot with Shane, but, don't let that shit bug you. You got talent. Fuck Shane. So he said, just keep your mind on what you do. Unfortunately, what I got to do now is put motherfuckers like Shane out the business.
How would you go about doing that?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, one way or another, though, I'm going to do my best to do it. I'm going to make sure I bear that dude. Because, let me tell you something. He does it the same thing. He does the same thing to me every chance he gets. Backstage. And Shane don't have no pull in the business. Shane burnt his bridges everywhere he goes. But I thankfully got guys like Kevin Kleinrock and Steve O'Neill and Mike O'Neill who believe in me, and even Cody Michaels. I like Cody. Cody and Shane are best friends, and but Cody's kind of a peacemaker. Cody always tried to come between and smooth things out with me and Shane, but it never happens because Shane's a fucking idiot. Shane never could come up to me and talk to me like a man. He could never apologize. He just constantly, Luke's this, Luke's that, F Luke, and he hates it because I call it like I see it. I call it like everybody else sees it, but everybody else is just too scared to say it about him. Fuck that guy.
Now, you said you wouldn't want to have like a wrestling match with him, but you'd like to fight him. Would you ever want to do that somehow for one of the events? Or?
Man, I would love to. Scott. Here's the thing: if I wrestle Shane, what's going to come from that? What would you think came from that?
Yeah, you'd probably have to carry Shane Douglas in a match.
Yeah, it's going to be him trying to put his ego over. You think Shane Douglas is going to go in there with a guy like me? Hell no. He's going to fear for his life. He smartly should. I'll tell you that. He smartly should. Because I'll knock his fucking teeth down his throat. And, excuse my language, I don't usually curse as much on radio shows, but he gets me so goddamn hot, I want to beat the shit out of him.
Is there any, besides, like you said, him talking behind your back and stuff, is there any other, like, stories between you two that, why you hate him so much?
Man, there's a ton. I don't know if I said this last time, but here's a prime example. Last time XPW went to Pittsburgh, I don't remember what year it was, Shane, got the ticket money or whatever. He come out and gave his speech and how great of a show it was going to be and this and that. And at the end of the night, everybody waited around probably about 6 hours till about 3, 4 in the morning for their money. So Shane finally comes at the end of the night. Oh, we're having problems with Ticketmaster. We're not gonna have the money. We're gonna have to send you guys checks, this, that, the typical indie bullshit. But then I see Shane leave with a envelope, not an envelope, bank, the bank bags? Bank bags full of cash. So he was full of shit. He's screwing the boys over. Same thing, he did it at the last show in Philly. Same thing, he screwed most of the boys out their money. And I guarantee you, he's stuffing his pockets. You know how much money they had to draw on the first show? And, guys like Steve O'Neill bust their ass to put asses in the seats and promote. And Shane Douglas, all he does is get on the internet and cut a promo. And he's trying to fill his pockets up.
Mm-hmm.
He don't care if anybody else gets paid. You think he cares about, same thing like Raven. If a Raven's going to be on a show, that motherfucker should be working for free. And I loosely say working.
Now, what about, would you get in the ring with Raven for a match, or?
Yeah, I'd beat the shit out of him, too. Make it a 3-way dance. I love it. So it's going to take more than 2 of them motherfuckers to come up to a guy like me.
Does Raven or Shane, do they have any, real fighting skills, do you know?
Fuck, I had no idea. I doubt it. They're probably good at putting their tail between their legs and talking shit behind somebody's back.
Another name, some people here that's going to be on the show, Joel Gertner. I'm always Joel. Yeah, he's a man.
Love Gertner. I love Gertner. Gertner's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came on the show not too long ago, and he actually had a little limerick written out about In Your Head that really made my day.
He's awesome, man. And there's a guy who hasn't lost his touch. He cares about what he does.
Amazing.
So I love guys who care about what they do and who want to make money and who want to make the business better. Because if they don't, they just kill it. Mm-hmm. So there's too many guys out there that do that, especially the old ECW guys.
What are you saying, Inchman?
Oh, I was just going to say, made your day, Jack. It probably made your next 2 years. So.
It was pretty. He even had one of my little catchphrases in the limerick, which I didn't tell him about or anything. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Man did his homework.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to that interview then.
Yeah, it was real short because he was busy, but as long as I got the limerick, that's all I really wanted. So it was a good time.
Yeah, you got him, man. You got him in there, and that's something you could say. I'm sure that was a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like I said, this thing in a lot of ways is a dream come true for me because, like I said, there's no place I ever wanted to be more than I wanted to be in ECW.
Mm-hmm.
When I was coming up, I loved WWE. Coming up WWF, I was a huge fan. I grew up loving Kurt Hennig, Rick Rude, Ultimate Warrior, guys like that. Junkyard Dog. I wanted to be in WWE. And then when ECW came around, that changed the game. That was more of my alley because I was a kid that grew up on the streets, that grew up rough, and it wasn't as comical as WWE was back then.
Mm-hmm.
It became hardcore, and I was like, man, that's everything I grew up as. I was fighting every day. I was the the white kid in the black neighborhood. Always having to prove my ground, and that was me.
I graduated in '94, so that's really when ECW started to take off, and I don't think I was ever emotionally attached to a wrestling company like I was ECW. Yeah, everything about it. It was so different than what you saw in other wrestling companies, and music was a big part of it too, and just everything about that time they really captured. And I think that's something that because a lot of people kind of just fixate on the hardcore stuff of ECW, but I think with the Extreme Rising, something they should really try to think about is how the fans were really emotionally attached to the stars of ECW, and I think that's something that's timeless. You can do that for any era. That's something you really need to do and get people into your company, I think.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was really great.
So Jerry Lynn versus Homicide. The last time it was a three-way dance, but this time just Jerry Lynn versus Homicide. I think that's going to be a hell of a match.
Dude, they both can go. They're going to go out there and they're going to give it their all. Jerry, like I said, Jerry's a guy who still cares about what he does. Mm-hmm. And his, like I said before, Jerry's half speed is better than those guys, most guys' full speed.
Sabu versus Devin Storm.
Sabu. Devin Storm, for God. Look at that guy. He goes out there. He's always got something to prove every match. A guy who really never got to fully get his calling, but he's a hell of a worker. So he's got a lot to prove, especially going out there against Sabu. Sabu kills himself every show. Sabu's a guy who, man, it's hard for me to say certain things like I love to work Sabu because I love to work Sabu 10 years ago, but not me 10 years ago, the me now versus the Sabu 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, don't take nothing away. The guy still goes. I still love to work him to this day, but none of those guys can hold a candle to what I do now.
Mm-hmm. You brought up Sami Callihan earlier, but Sami Callihan ripped up my brother's autographed Sabu sign at a Dragon Gate USA show.
On purpose?
Yeah, he just came up and ripped the sign up.
I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy personally. I just know I've seen a few of his matches, and and I know he gets a lot of buzz, and he's a decent hand. He's a good guy. He's good. But
he is. He's a really good wrestler. To be honest, even though he ripped up my brother's sign, he is pretty awesome.
That just means he's an asshole.
Right.
He's an asshole to be a good wrestler.
Eric Cannon felt bad, and he reimbursed my brother. He wouldn't get a sign, and had it signed.
Some people say that about me. Eric Cannon, man. Eric Cannon's another guy. There's so many guys. He was a WSX guy behind what Kevin Kleinrock did. Eric Cannon, Matt Seidel, Tyler Black, Matt Cross, Human Tornado, Alcatraz, Baby Slim, Jack Evans. There was a list that goes on, and that brings me back to that. That was about a new generation of wrestlers, a new generation of guys who came there and can really, really go and have a hell of a show. And people had mixed opinions about the Wrestling Society X thing, but
I really enjoyed it.
It was good. The MTV restricted a lot, but they could have did so much with it. Mm-hmm. And then, that was Kevin Kleinrock's baby. Kevin Kleinrock put that together.
Yeah. Now, Eric Cannon, because I'm in the Northeast, so I see him a lot on shows. He's one of the best guys to watch live. He's awesome in the ring.
I'll tell you a funny story. This goes back to the same stuff that happens with guys like Shane. Now, I hate to talk about Shane that much. I don't hate it. Just I know everybody doesn't want to hear me say fuck Shane, fuck Shane, fuck Shane. But when we had WSX, I had the same attitude towards Vampiro because when I was in XPW, Vampiro was a guy that was like Conan and Shane. He was kind of a douchebag. He just out for himself, just there didn't help the younger guys. Had his own locker room, was caught up in whatever extracurricular activities them boys were doing. And so when he was a part of WSX, I was like, man, this is some bullshit, And he was a leader at WSX. So me personally, I couldn't stand it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy, I'm gonna tell him what's up. So when we first started filming, before we even did filming, when we got out there to do everything, I pulled Vamp aside and I said, look, I'm gonna just tell you straight up, keep your distance from me. I have no respect for you, and this is why. And I laid it down. I didn't say, you're this, you're that. I said, I don't have any respect for you, and let me tell you why. These are the things you did. And you know what Vampiro did? He looked me in my eyes, and he said, I did not realize that. I'm sorry, and I have so much respect for you to come up and tell me that to my face. And it really set off a good relationship between me and Vampiro. And, man, I love the guy now. I love him to this day. We went hard at WSX. He was really good with the young guys. He's the one who got me in the movie business. There's a lot of good things about that guy. And that's because we had differences. And, again, I wasn't scared to hold back what I had to say towards him and how he acted. And the guy realized it when I said it. He goes, you know what, man, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Let's fix this. I want to show that I care about what's going on. I care about younger guys.
Did you ever try to do that with Shane Douglas? Sit down and talk to him about anything?
Man, Shane is so scared of me. Like I said, he won't give me the time of day. And it's past that point now. It really is. It's been past that point for a long time.
Here in the chat room, Weeble wants to know, what are your thoughts on managers in wrestling? Would you like to see them come back or not?
It's very, very needful. Managers are awesome. It's very lack today. I love Vicky Guerrero. She's awesome. She does a great job. It's a lost art in wrestling, too. It takes a lot of work to be a manager. Everybody thinks it's easy and everybody can be a manager just like everybody thinks they can wrestle. But it's a lost art, and it's definitely needed.
Yeah. I've really been digging Paul Heyman back on Raw.
Yeah, Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman's a smart guy. And I say that not just because of the stuff he's done. Paul Heyman always positions himself in the right spot. You never see Paul Heyman just pop up anywhere to pop up, But Paul Heyman pops up in top spots. And I'm sure he gets offered other things, but he doesn't take it unless it's, smart. So good for Paul Heyman.
And I think his recent stuff really shows like a different side of Paul Heyman because he's not now like the guy that's talking so much because Punk does great promos, so he doesn't need to talk so much. But just the little things like he really his facial expressions and like you're saying, there's more than being a manager than just standing there and talking. Just he knows how to get a lot just stand in the background sometimes. Pretty awesome.
Exactly, man. That's what I used to love about Bill Alfonso. I thought Fonzie was awesome. My four favorite managers were Bill Alfonso, Bobby Heenan, Paul Bear, and Sherry. Not in any particular order, but those four, man, I love them.
Yeah, the whistle's like kind of a genius thing because like how can you not be annoyed by that?
That pissed some people off for what? I mean, it was awesome. And then when he would cut his promo and he had bad teeth and he would sit there and yell like he was the toughest guy in the world, everybody wanted to see him get his ass kicked. Fonzie was awesome.
We were at a convention, and the promoter wouldn't let him have the whistle at his booth because he said it was too annoying.
See, that takes it away, man.
Yeah.
Away from that's like taking Jimmy Hart's microphone.
Yeah.
Taking away Jim Cornette's tennis racket.
It really was kind of the same idea of the megaphone, only like even more annoying, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of like Jimmy Hart or the Jim Cornettes. Nothing against them, but I just thought they did a good job. But to me, they didn't hold anything up to a guy like Bobby Heenan or Sherry or Fonzie or Paul Bear.
Yeah. To me, it's really hard to top a Heenan. I know that's what everyone says, but still, it's like
Heenan was phenomenal. And most of that is because Heenan loved what he did. He made it his business to be on point with everything he did because it was his job. So So he didn't just take it for granted. He went out there and always put on the best show he can put on.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, pretty much, everyone who grew up watching wrestling, I mean, that's one of the things that sticks out to you, the managers. So I'm not really sure why it ever went away. And anytime they do try it, it will still work. So.
But I mean, Vicky's a prime example of that. Look at Vicky. Some people don't work, but Vicky, man, Vicky is so good.
Mm-hmm. I haven't thought, Daivari, he didn't have like a long run as a manager, but I thought, he did really.
Daivari did a good job. And Daivari's a good worker too. Y'all seen him choke that guy out on the subway? Yeah,
that's an awesome story too.
Yeah, it is.
No, he's always really fun to have on the show too.
Yeah, I don't know Daivari, but I respect him.
Mm-hmm. They had this really. I thought it was. I don't pay too much attention to these lists that they do, but there was this website and they had the list of the 30. It was the top 30 unathletic wrestlers of all time, and Daivari was on that list. And I was like, how could you look at that guy and think he doesn't look athletic?
That's why I don't pay attention to any of them lists. It's all it's all political bullshit. So you know who you blow. I email you, I'm friends with you, so we're going to put you on this list and talk really good about you. I don't get booked on shows because I'm somebody's friend. I get booked on shows because of my talent.
Mm. And I'm not even kidding. They had Kurt Angle on that list, and I was like, oh, come on. Now, who in the world would think Kurt Angle's not athletic? I mean,
Kurt Angle is easily and arguably in the top 5 wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard to say because there's so many good ones, but Kurt Angle is so damn good.
It was kind of mind-boggling, but it was on a pretty big website too. I forget, it was like IGN or something. But,
the guy who wrote it probably wasn't, probably had a mental disability or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of those people out there.
The chat room is behind. Mm-hmm. The chat room is behind you on Jerry Martel. What was that?
So it might be Shane Douglas who wrote that list.
Yeah, I don't think he was on the list, so maybe it was Shane Douglas.
Yeah.
So this weekend, this Saturday, November to Remember 97 tribute show. November is always a big month for ECW. It's now going to be a big month for Extreme Rising. And you can get it for, it's like right around $15, WWNlive.com. And if you get it on iPay-Per-View, you will also get the Philadelphia event free on iPay-Per-View. So
I promise it's something you won't want to miss.
It's the first time ever a live iPay-Per-View from Extreme Rising. Is that any added?
Pressure?
Yeah. Thank you.
No pressure, man.
Right.
I don't get pressure in the wrestling business. I go out there and I do what I do, and I'm very confident in what I do. Mm-hmm. So it don't matter if it's in front of 50 guys or being broadcast across the world or in front of 30,000 people. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do the same damn thing. I'm gonna bust my ass and I'm gonna bust somebody else's ass.
Excellent. Well, it's always good talking to you, and we're looking forward to the show.
Yeah, definitely. Me too, man. Because I tell you, some shit's gonna go down. Because I'm going in with a big chip on my shoulder, and I laid low on the last show, but you know what? It ain't happening no more.
Mm-hmm. No, we asked about you don't have a match with him. You would fight him. What about one-on-one? If they just let you guys say whatever you want on the mic to each other, you and Shane Douglas.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to hear that.
He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it because he's a pussy.
You got to do it. If he's listening, I think people would want to hear it. People would buy the iPay-Per-View to listen to it.
That's right, Shane. Come out there and make yourself look like a fool. And, I'll give credit where credit's due. The guy can talk, but that's about all he can do. Can he talk better than me? Of course he can. Shane Douglas sounds like a radio guy. Shane Douglas is a radio disc jockey. When it comes to anything past that, he's done.
All right. Thanks, man. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, now y'all take care, man. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man who will not die and who is stronger than death, Matt Hardy, and you're listening to IYHWrestling.com.